Hi everyone, and welcome to your sixth lesson within the Professional Diploma in Web Design. Today we're going to be looking into our Digital CV Part 2, and I've got quite a few exciting things to show you, but we'll talk about that now. Our fun facts for the day are: did you know that there are approximately 400 billion active websites out there? And just to put that into perspective for you, there are approximately 7.7 billion people on the planet. That is an excessive amount of websites. Just think about how many sites you're probably viewing in a week. Just as a little exercise, keep track of how many different websites you view in a week and why you choose to view those particular sites. But I wanted to share this with you because it blew my mind when I found out. Just a quick recap on who I am. I'm Kate Savage, and I'm an experienced college lecturer. And my quote of the day is: education's purpose is to replace an empty mind with an open one. And that is something I would like you all to think about quite seriously, to see if you are open to new opportunities and potential growth, or if you are, sitting in a bit of a rut at the moment, then look at ways you can improve your life. And I think a lot of you are in more of the open-minded section at the moment because you are doing self-improvement by doing your courses at Shaw Academy. Don't forget that in order to succeed, you need to put in the effort and commitment. We here at Shaw Academy are here to make things as easy as possible for you to attend your lessons and succeed. All you have to do is don't drop out. We want you to achieve your goals, and we know that this is vital to your success. As for our objectives today, we're going to be covering some advanced tables. We're going to be doing this on the education page of our digital CV, and I'm going to show you a really cool trick with hovering and using some transparency in your table, just so that it looks really cool, but you'll see. Then we're going to do an introduction to forms. I'm going to show you a very basic Contact Us form and how we can go about laying that out. Then we're going to do images and transparency, so we're going to be putting transparent backgrounds over our images so that we can make them darker and give them a bit of an effect. And the last one, we're going to do introduction to buttons. So our Contact Us page will have a send button that we are then going to format. Later in this lesson, we're going to be covering transitions. And basically what a transition is, it is changing something from one thing to another. So as you'll see with the read more, when you click on the button, it changes from fully colored to just an outline, which is quite cool. It also lets the user know that the button click has been received and that the action is being taken. So within transitions, there are 6 possibilities. So there's easing, linear, ease in, ease out, ease in and out, and cubic Bezier. Now, the best way for you to do this is, let's go ahead and take what I'm going to show you in the demo, and then we'll just use all of these different effects there, and I can show you practically what they all mean, because I think showing you practically is just a bit more fun than trying to remember. Next, we've got linear gradients. Now, what a linear gradient requires you to have at least two different colors, because you can't use a gradient on one color. Then we need them to fade seamlessly into one another, and they must have a defined angle or direction. So if you have a look at this graphic that I found, you can see how everything is fading nicely, and it's going in a straight line from the left to right, or right to left, depending. But you can see that it all fades together beautifully, and there's no defined line of where one color starts and the next color begins. So we've got red, green, blue, and alpha. So we've got red, green, blue, all at 0, and then alpha is going to tell us if it's at 0.0, the image will be fully transparent, and if it gets to 1, it will be fully visible. So you can see on the first one, we're going to 80% of it must be visible. And then the next one, we've got 50%, and that is going to be on our Contact Us page. But I will run through this with more detail when we are doing the demo. I think quite a good place to start is, let's start off with the education page, because we have briefly touched on tables before, but I'm going to show you how to take an ordinary table and turn it into something awesome. So let's go and get started. Okay, so I've gone ahead and just done the CSS link and created the education and HTML pages. And then what we're going to do is we're going to be a little bit sneaky, and we're going to go into our home and our home CSS and our home HTML so that we can get our side menu back, or our hamburger menu. So we're going to come in here and we're going to select from div down to the end of script, and we're just going to copy that and go into education, and within our body tag we're just going to paste that in. So we went to home.html, we went from the div here down to script, we copied that and we pasted it in here. So let's see what this does. And remember, we've now got this mess again. So let's go and put our CSS in. So if we go to home CSS and we navigate down, we can see here is where we start formatting our hamburger menu. So we're going to copy this. Oh, not that far. There we go. And we're going to take this and then put it into education.css. You can leave a few lines. There we go. And let's see what this does. Remember that our hamburger is currently white. And there we go, we have got our menu back, and we can go and see Mr. Lion, and then we can go back to education. Okay, so within education we're going to have quite a nice looking background, and we are going to have an advanced table. So with our table we are going to create a div class container. So we're going to come in here under script, and we're going to move in. And we're going to go div class and go container. There we go. Let me just make some more room so that everyone can see what I'm doing. There we go. And then within here we need to start with our table tag. And then within table, remember we have tr, which is table row. And we're going to have 4 lots of table data, so TD, and our text will go in there. Let's take this, 2, 3 and 4. That one decided not to cooperate. There we go. And 4. So now we're going to be learning one of Kate's tricks again, and we are going to take this. And we've got 4, yes, we've got 4 rows. So 1, 2, 3. All of this needs to line up nicely. There we go. 3 and then 4. So we've got all 4 here. But the one thing we have forgotten is that we need to have table headings. So we can go over here, go TR, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and within here we have to then have TH, table heading. So we've got name, then we've got, let's just populate these so it's easier. So we've got name, then qualification, key achievements, and last year. Okay, so let's just see what this does. So we've got name, qualifications, key achievements, and year. So we're going to be now populating, remember, 1 line per 1 TR. So table row, and it's the data that falls within that particular line. So we can go Shaw Academy, and we can go with professional diploma in photography. And in here we can say distinction, and that was in 2015. And let's see what happens here. Okay, so we've now populated there, and just for convenience sake, I'm going to make all of these Shaw Academy, and also why not do all your courses at Shaw Academy? There we go, and they're all going to be professional diplomas. This one can be in Photoshop. What else can we do? Let's do web design, because web design's awesome. So we go web design. And last we can do digital marketing. And we can be super smart and get lots of distinctions. Yay! So 2015, let's do 2016. And 2018 and 2019. There we go, and let's see how this appears. Okay, so this does not look very attractive, to say the least. It looks very dull and boring, and also we're cutting it off there. So let's go and fix this. But before we do that, let's tidy this up. So okay, so see how this all fits in very nicely together. We like tidy code. And let's save. So let's now go into our CSS. So we've got our side nav here. And now let's start off where we normally do, with the body. Now remember, the things that we already know I'll do quite quickly so I can have time to spend on the more complicated aspects of the lesson. So we're going to go background image. And we're going to pick an image, go into images, and I want the education picture. And then, as we normally do, background repeat. We want no repeat. And now we want to make sure, well, let me show you. Okay, so we now have this, and that is not, we're not even getting the part of the image we want. So what we can do to avoid this is go background size, and then we can say cover, and it'll make sure that the image covers the screen. So let's have a look at this. There we go. So we can now see that it is the whole picture that we want. Yay! And then we can just say height 100%. Okay, the next thing on the list, now we've gone and put our table into a container, so we then need to refer to that container as dot container. And within here we're going to say the position is absolute, that the top must be 40% and the left must be 50%. Where's my percent sign? There we go. Lost it for a second. And let's save and see what this does. Okay, so now that has moved down here, which isn't where we want it, but let's see if we can fix this. So I can turn this down here. Okay, so we've got this sitting over here, but don't worry, we are going to fix this. Then we've got something called a WebKit, and it's going to allow us to transform. I will show you what I mean by this, but we did chat about it in the slides. And then we are going to translate, and that is going to be minus 40% of our opacity, and then minus 30%. There we go. Let's just see what this does. Okay, at this point we haven't actually got a background on this table, which is why it's being like this. And then let's go transform, minus 50%, comma, minus 50% again, and we can close that off there. Okay, so at this point we aren't seeing the results here, but I will demo it for you in a minute. So let's go to table, and the width, and we go to table, and our width is going to be 900 pixels. We don't want borders, so border collapse, and we want collapse. Overflow must be hidden. And last, we want to add in a bit of a shadow. So we're going to go box shadow. You'll remember shadow from the gaming den. And we're going to put 0, 0, and then we want 20 pixels. And remember the RGBA, so red, green, blue, and alpha. And alpha, what does that depict? What are we learning early in the lesson about alpha? Okay, so we've got this very plain looking table at the moment. Let's go and format our table headings. So that would be TH and TD. And let's just start off by adding a bit of padding. So we can do that as 15 pixels. And now we can choose our background color. So let's go background color. And now we want to use the RGBA. And I've gone and selected a color, so my values are 255, 255, and I want it to be at 0.2% or 20%. Let's see what this does. There we go. So now we've got our little grey background. Now for anyone who's confused about how I got this, let's just go and have a look. So we're going to go into Google, type in color picker, and then all I did was just go in here and look for a grey. So I'm not going to spend too much time trying to get the same one, but you'll then just go and say I want the RGB colors, and you would then just take this and copy paste it in to get the colors that you want. So if we want my exact color, we can go 255, 255, 255. And it's giving us this white. Okay, that was a fun little experiment. And then let's carry on, and then we want our color of our text, and that's going to be FFF. You'll start learning color codes as well when you get a bit of practice, and we want that to be white. So now we've formatted our table heading and our table data in the same way, but we want our heading to look slightly different. So again, we can just type TH now on its own, so this will only apply to your table headings, and we can go text align, and we want that to be aligned to the left hand side of the screen. And that should be fine there for now. And then we want our T head, just table heading, and we want the background color to be a bit different here, so we're going to go background color, and we're going to pick a color, and I think we're going to use this purple color here. It's quite nice. Okay, no, not the purple, I want the blue, this blue, it's prettier. Okay, and we've got the blue here. And let's just set our font family. So font family is going to be Arial. There we go. Oopsie. So we can see, remember we're up here. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is our table heading. We're going to add a little bit of formatting there. And in order to do that, we are going to do background color. And we're going to go and custom pick the sticky note color over here, just to keep with our little color scheme we have going on. Just straighten these up. And then we're going to say the font family is Arial. There we go. And font size is 20. Go. Ta-da! Just going to move this like this for now so we can see what I'm doing. Under table heading, we want to align, text align, left. Let's just see if that fixes that nicely. There we go. Okay, so the last thing we want to do is I want to get another column to highlight, well, the column to highlight now as well. And we're going to do that by going T body, table data. We'd like it to hover, and that will be B4. Okay, then we're going to go content. There we go. The position must be absolute. Left is equal to 0. And so it's right. Then we've got top, and that's going to be minus 999 pixels. You will see now what's going on. Bottom. That's also, yes. And then background color. It's going to be this purple. And we're just going to do Google that, and here's our code. Pop that code in, but we must just remember to go RGBA. And then we need to just add in our 0.2. Ooh. There we go. But now, oh, that's why. So why is this color so solid? But I know now. There we go. Okay, so now we've got that. So I just hadn't put my dot in, and that's what messed me up there. Okay. So let's just see what happens if we remove any of these parts. Okay, so that is the key to getting our color to stay. So let's see again. There we go. We're quickly just going to tidy this up a little bit. There we go. And then, ta-da, we can see we have a very nice looking page here. Let's go ahead and start coding our contact page. Okay, so we've got all of this here. Now, what are we going to try and do here? So here, what we're going to do is go to the script section. And then after that, we're going to go and quickly put in our heading 1. Although I suppose actually before we do that, let's grab our CSS so that this doesn't look so terrible. There we go. And remember now we've just got our hamburger menus a bit invisible. Okay, so contact, let's move these two together. Okay. Let's just close these ones. Okay, so we've got contact. Here we go. So let's go in here. Heading 1, we want to be get in touch. And we can save. And there we go. So get in touch. Goodbye. Okay, so we want to now do a form. So within form, you have to start off with form action. So we're going to go form action. And then this is just going to be my handling form page, because at the moment we don't actually, you'll only learn about this in later modules, how to actually get a properly functioning form, but we're going to just give you a taste now to inspire you. Okay, so form action, and then we need a div. So we need to make a div here. And then within div, we're going to do our first label. So we're going to go label 4 is equal to, name. And then on the actual site, we want it to say, we want it to say name. There we go. And then we need to just also specify an input type. So input type is equal to text. And the ID for that is going to be name. And then name is going to be equal to, keep doing that, username. So this will generally be when you're linking it up to a database. So this would be your variable name. Your variable would hold any of the information that gets put in here. Okay, then we need another div because we've got 3 input fields that we want to do. We've got name, and then we've got email address, so another div, and that's going to be label for email. Oh no, there we go, label for email, and that's going to equal email. And that's how it's going to show on the page. And then we want another input type. Input type is equal to email. And then our ID is going to be equal to email. And the name is equal to user underscore email. I know this all looks very terrifying at this point, but let's have a look. Okay, so just name, email. And we're going to do this one more time. It's going to be slightly different because we're going to leave a text area so that our users can leave us messages, detailed messages on what information it is that they would like. So we're going to make another div, and within this div we are going to go ahead and say label for message. Let's go with MSG. And then that's going to be your message, and then that's going to be the end of that label. And then we just got to do our input type, but this time it's going to be text area. ID is equal to MSG. Name is equal to user message. Okay, so you see how your text area there has closed, and then we're just going to have a look at what this looks like. Okay, And you can see here we've got a little functionality that if you click on this corner, so you can't change it here, but you can go like this, which is pretty cool. And I'm going to stop playing with that now. Okay, so now we need to go and make this look like something worth looking at. So let's go into our CSS. And what do I always like to do? I like to put my background images in. So let's go body. And this one we're going to get a bit more complicated with our linear gradients. So let's go background. Background image. And that's going to be this coffee cup. There we go. Let's have a look. Oh, it's a humongous image. Okay. So yeah, we can't have that. So let's go and change this. So let's go background, repeat. Oopsie. And we want that to be no repeat. We want background size to be cover. And then we want the position to be bottom left, so background position, bottom left. And now is where I'm going to make your life slightly more complicated. But let's have a look at this first. Okay, so now we've got our steaming cup of coffee over here, which is looking good. But now we are going to go and put a linear gradient on this. So in front of your URL here, we're going to put in a comma. And we're going to type this in. So we're going to go, we need to tell the HTML what we're doing. So we're trying to do a linear gradient. And then we need to go brackets, red, green, blue, alpha. And within here, we're going to go 0, comma 0, comma 0, comma 0.8. So we want it to be 80% transparent. And then we're going to do it one more time, and we're going to go RGBA. And this time it's going to be 0, comma 0, comma 0, comma 0.5. And let's see what this does. So linear gradient, RGBA, 0, 0, 0, too many, no, 1, 2, 3, fun, 1, 2, 3, fun, let's see what it does. It's made it go away. There we go. See, just leaving that gap ruins everything. Okay, so now we've got a little bit of like misting or making it a bit darker, which just gives it a bit of a cooler feel here. So let's go quickly and just make this heading stand out. So we can go H1, and we want the color to be white. We want the font size to be 60. Text align can be left. And then we can add some padding to the left. So padding left can be 60. No, not 60. Make it 30%. And our font family can be Arial. There we go. I think that looks quite nice. And now we're going to have a bit more fun and do okay, let's get started on formatting our form. So we're going to start off by just saying form. And then we're going to say margin should be 50 pixels, and auto. That's going to get it to the center of our page, and we want 600 pixels. And we want the width to be 600 pixels. Let's see. Okay, so that's moved quite a bit, and that's not looking bad. We can always come and move this around a bit later. Then we want to set our border radius. Border radius going to be 10 pixels. Okay, and that is this little section here. 100. So border radius, and then we can just do font family is Arial. There we go. There we go, so you can see we can type in here now, which is very cool. And then all of our divs we want to add some padding to, so we're going to go div. And we're going to put top margin, so margin top is going to be 25 pixels. And now we've got a nice gap in between each one. So now these are our labels, so name, email, and your message. So I think those need a bit of love. And let's go and say display. And we want this to be an inline block so that it all lines up nicely. We want the width to be, let's say, 120 pixels. We want to align the text to the right. My brain was working faster than my hands there. Color must be white. And font size can be 20 pixels. Ta-da! That's actually looking quite a lot better. We might remove this your part later. We'll see how it goes. And then we just want to go and format our little text area. So input, here we go. So input, comma, text area. And this is basically just going to make sure that all of our text fields have the same font settings. So we're going to go font size is going to be, what did we pick? 20 pixels. And our font family is going to be the same there. And now what we want to do is set a background. So we're going to go with background, and it's going to be RGBA, and let's go and see what color I've chosen. Actually got fun doing it this way. I think this is grey. It's grey. Okay. So I've chosen this grey when I pre-prepared the site for us, so we can just go in here. And it was 189, 189, 189. And then we wanted a 30% see-through, transparent. Okay, so you can see you've got your bit of transparency showing there, and I think that looks quite cool. And then let's just make sure that these all line up, because it's looking quite messy at this point. So let's go with width can be 500 pixels, And then let's go and see if that's enough. Oh, that's too much. Let's make it 400. There we go. And we can actually do some padding. So padding left. We can make that 20 pixels. See if that's too much. Oh, I'm loving getting all my orders mixed up. Let's see. Okay. Padding right. There we go. Now we've got a bit more of a gap there, which I think looks a lot better. And then we can go and put a highlighter onto when we select here, you can see it's getting this little blue, which actually looks quite nice. So I think we'll leave that blue. There you can see where you are typing, but that's actually quite an important thing. Let's change that color to white. This is why it's important to do testing and play around. There we go. So we can see now that that has been fixed, and I think your message should just be message. Now we're gonna have to move him because that doesn't look nice. And then we're gonna say, in order to do this, we want these to all line up perfectly. So let's go back to text area and let's go vertical, align, and we want it to be on the top. There we go. See, that looks a lot better. And we can still do our little dragging thing, which is cool. But we want this to stay nice and uniform for now. And then now, what is missing here? We've got a little side menu, but we are missing a button because we must push the button. So let's quickly just go and we can add in a button here. And in order to do that, we need to go back to our Contact Us page. Okay, so we're going to create a div. So div class button. We want to align it to the center. Center. There we go. And then the next thing we want to do is go and say a, which means it's a link. So a class is equal to button 1. And now we need an href. So we can just go href and we can add a website. We can just make it our home page. There we go. And our target is going to equal blank. And the relationship is going to be and then that's going to say send. Send, close the A, close the div. Let's see if for some miracle that actually worked. This demo is too long. See? Okay, so we're going to just do a little dummy button here because we're not going to teach you too much about the buttons for now, but a class is equal to button 1, and then we're going to use this as a link to another site, and a href, and it says pick a URL. Let's just use Google. Go. It's a really long one. Let's just go google.com. Okay, and then our target will equal blank. Let that go away. There we go, it'll equal blank, and the rel will equal index, and then we can just call this send, and we need to close our div. There we go. And we now have our little send button, and it takes us back to Gmail. Okay, let's go and get this formatted so it looks a bit cooler, because it doesn't look very cool right now. It's kind of like hiding in the background there. So what we're going to do is then come in here, over there, and go button 1, which is what we've called this. And we want to take away the underline, so that is, I'm sure you all know, text decoration is equal to none. Border, none. Background, I've chosen, there we go. And then color, we want it to be white, and the color code for white is 5Fs. And then you're going to see this new thing. So this is important, and important basically means you can write over any pre-programmed settings. So by going important, we are essentially taking charge. There we go. And now we've just got this very sad looking little button, but we're going to fix you, don't worry. And we're going to go font weight is equal to 100. Add in some padding. It's going to be 30 pixels. Then we can do the transition. And remember, we spoke about transitions earlier, and we want to use all of them, and we want it to go over 0.5 of a second, and we want it to ease at 0 seconds. So let's see what happens here. Big button. Okay, so we still need to do the hover effect for this, but that was a bit too hectic, so let's just change that. Let's make padding 10 and see if that improves slightly. Okay, but it's still looking like a very sad button, and I think we should change the color of this button as well. I think we should use the display inline block as well over here. Save that. Now it's got a bit more space. I think we need to change our text color, so let's go color is white. That's better. Then we can go and make this the same font. So where did we use our fonts? So we've got font family over here. And slip that at the top. And we want font size then to be 20 as well. Save. Let's see. Okay, so that's looking quite good at this point. And then we can see that it takes us back to Google. So that's not too bad. Let's have a look-see. So we've got Get in Touch and our little Send button, and we've got our menu as well. Just while we're talking about things you can learn in later modules, I'd just like to remind all of you about our limited offer on 50% off of our 12-month memberships. Now do remember that the longer the subscription, the bigger the discount that you'll be getting, and just think about all the things you can learn in 12 months. Think about how much you've learned in 6 lessons, just to put that into perspective. And I'd just quickly like to chat about your goals here with Shaw Academy. And what are your goals? Either you could be looking into entering a new industry, you want to gain a promotion at work, grow your own business, or just for general self-improvement. Now, all of these are very valid reasons and fantastic initiative on your part if you are taking on any of these challenges. And just remember that we here at Shaw Academy are only here to help you achieve these goals, no matter what they are. As a part of your membership, we can tailor your education to suit you and your personal goals. We call these pathways, and there are 2 types available. The first type is your fast track pathway, and you'll find these on our website. These are courses that you can take in order to reach a very specific goal. And then we've got the technology pathway. And this is just a sample of our pathways. You can find more on our website, or you can talk to your student advisor to help find the right pathway for you. Simply adding this pathway will map out your journey to becoming a web specialist. Then your alternative pathway is your personal pathway. You can choose to create your own path and choose courses that suit you. Let's look at an example that I've come up with. So you could start off with your web design course and move on to web development. Then you could go ahead and combine that with some graphic design. And then you could go into social media marketing, digital marketing, and then go into mobile application development. And this would just be a full house. Anything you're wanting to do, you could do yourself, and you'd be able to speak all the languages that you need in order to be a success. And any company that sees this combination of skills would be highly impressed. So if you're looking at starting a new life or a new journey, I would highly suggest this pathway for you, because I think it is a perfect formula for success. And then just a reminder on our different faculties here at Shaw Academy. We have finance, lifestyle, business, technology, which is mine, photography, and health and wellness. So everything you need in order to have a nice, well-rounded education and knowledge on multiple different topics. And with hundreds of topics available, you can do a lot in a year. It's a reminder that all our professional diplomas are EQF Level 5 accredited. Every professional diploma you complete, you can earn a certificate as well. And just think how many you could earn over 12 months. If the euro isn't your currency, check out our site to find the equivalent amount in your own currency. The 3-month membership would let you complete this course. The 6-month option would get you halfway through another professional diploma, which doesn't really make sense. So I'd recommend the 12-month option, which offers a cheaper monthly rate than any of the other options, and it's going to allow you to complete 3 different courses. If you're interested in having a look into this, you can inquire through your members area. You can respond to any of the messages that have been sent to you, or you can type info into Morpheus now, and remember to keep that in caps lock because you are so excited about your new future. Now that we've spoken about your pathway and your goals, let's talk about what's coming up in the next lesson. So your sneak peek into lesson 7. You will learn about image galleries, advanced formatting, and so much more, so don't miss out. The image galleries are something I'm particularly excited about, and I can't wait to see what you all also come up with. And I think it's just going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to do some advanced formatting on our careers page as well, but I'm going to leave that as a surprise for you. As for your lesson challenge, showcase your personalized contact page for your digital CV and post it on one of our social media platforms. So I'd like to see what images you use, the colors that you decide look good together, and just show us all what you are doing with the skills you have learned. So I don't know if you guys have realized yet, but there are only 2 lessons left in this module. So let's go and have a look at what you can expect in future lessons. Firstly, each module has been designed to advance your knowledge within web design in a step-by-step manner. After completing this module, you should have a solid foundation to build on. So Module 2 is all about defining your style as a web designer and finding out what area of web design interests you most. Within Module 2, we'll be covering more of your intermediate knowledge within web design, and you should be able to master a whole bunch of new skills, and we'll be introducing you to things like Web 3.0. There are going to be some really fun practicals. We're going to learn more about HTML and CSS. And we're going to be covering mobile first design as well, which is very important considering that I think most of you are actually watching this course on your mobile phones anyway. You're also going to be introduced to Bootstrap, which is incredibly practical within the web design space. We're going to talk more about planning a website efficiently, and then we're going to do a client brief as well, which is very interesting from the perspective of those of you who are wanting to find clients and actually work as a web designer and not just on your own sites. And this is going to prepare you for just about anything that can be thrown at you as a web designer. Next, we have Module 3, and within Module 3, we're going to be covering more advanced features, and you're going to be introduced to WordPress, and also how to make WordPress an e-commerce site. We're going to talk about graphics and media on the web. And after we've covered the theory, we're going to be moving on to a practical lesson. Then we're going to create a company website. Module 3 is going to cover a lot more of your advanced functionality. You're going to be introduced to WordPress and creating e-commerce sites. We're going to cover more about graphics and media on the web. And we're going to create a company website and cover that in theory and practice. And then we're going to recap on how to install Bootstrap and setting up WordPress on a local machine. Then your 4th and final module. This one works a little bit differently to the rest. So I'm sure most of you will notice that Module 4 runs just a little bit differently from Modules 1, 2, and 3. And why we've done this is we want you to be able to participate in the practical parts of the lessons. So this will allow you to really engage with the material without having to wait another week or a few days before you can finish any of the practical assignments. In these assignments, you'll be doing WordPress practicals, WordPress security, and then there will be a Q&A and a recap on the more difficult aspects of this course. All in all, I think it's a fantastic way to wrap up your web design course, and I look forward to seeing what questions you all have at the end of Module 4. Finally, when the course is complete, this really is only the beginning of your web design journey. Whatever your goal is, you will now be able to enjoy your passion, share your work and be proud of your website. You will become more creative and see new possibilities, and you can showcase your hobbies and interests. So if you love baking or if you enjoy photography, basically any hobby that you may have, you can showcase on a website, and you can set your web designs apart from the rest with your own personal approach. You can increase your earning potential by supplementing your income by doing some side work in web design. You can do part-time work as a web designer. You can earn back money from your designs. And you can offer a retainer for ongoing web design work. Another very popular strategy is to start a web design blog and monetize it. Let's talk about some other things you can do with your new skills. You can start a new career. You could become a full-time web designer. You can work in fashion, journalism, nature, food, whatever area you want to succeed in. You can go ahead and build a portfolio of websites, and you can basically live, work, and breathe web design. And don't just take it from me, millions of students just like you have taken this journey before. And as one of the million students, you could also end up teaching web design. don't just take it from me, millions of students just like you have taken this journey before, and I was particularly touched by Melody's story. She says, I'm loving my experience on shore. I've always wanted to further my education, but I didn't have the funds to do so until I was told about Shore Academy's online courses. And she goes on to say that she had lost all hope until she was introduced to our courses. And she says so far her experience with us has been superb. Key points are that she's loving that she has access to her classes on her phone anywhere and anytime. And my favorite is that the class experience is also awesome. The sound quality is so good and you can hear clearly everything that is being said. Shore Academy is the best ever and it has given me a chance I never would have had. Now, as an educator, that is all we want to hear, great reviews and that we are reaching people. There's also a lovely review from Mareka. Love the interactive online courses and it's accredited too. Lessons are informative and easy to follow. There is an interactive aspect to the classes too, which I liked. What motivates me most is getting an accredited certificate at the end that you can also use on your CV to substantiate your skills. And one more show off. Excellent courses by Shore Academy with clean and clear details for students. The system is very flexible for professionals who are willing to learn and improve skills in a short period of time. But what happens if you decide to finish here? Well, nothing will change. And all this wonderful design work we've done will be for nothing. And I've seen this happen more times than I can count. But all you guys have to do is keep going and you will see success. Think about how after every lesson you've at least learned one new skill. Imagine after 32 full lessons how many more things you're going to know. I know a lot of students have been emailing in, talking to their guidance managers and are messaging now saying that they want to do this, which is great. Let's go ahead and achieve your goals now. My advice to you though is to not drop out and to keep studying and to get skilled to achieve your goals. And I have a very special offer for those of you looking to save money. But either way, just don't drop out, achieve your goals. We offer discounts for those looking for the 3, 6 and 12 month subscription packages. Right now you can get 12 months education for the price of 6. You heard me right, 12 months for the price of 6. And an average student studies for longer than 6 months anyway, so why not get 6 months for free and save money and gain some more skills if you can afford to do so. What this means essentially is that you can complete this course comfortably and affordably and go on and complete many other courses in this faculty or around Shore Academy as well. The 3 and 6 month packages are also great, and of course there is also the 1 month plan, which is the easiest from an upfront cost point of view. But if you can afford the 12 months, it is the best value for money. So there are many options available to you, so there really is no excuse. And don't forget, we have 50% off these courses for a limited time only. I'd just like to remind you that our mission here at Shore Academy is higher education at a lower cost, and we provide education that is more convenient, flexible, affordable, interactive, and internationally recognized education. So if you decide to move somewhere exotic around the globe, your accreditation will be recognized there as well. And remember that the world is changing and education is just not changing fast enough. We don't have time to spend sitting in a classroom for 9 hours a day to learn a fraction what you can get out of one of our 45-minute sessions. We don't have the patience to not get the answers to our questions. Why should we wait? Well, we are here for you when you need those answers. And finally, just a congratulations on completing Lesson 6. I hope you've all had a great time and learned something new. Feel free to send us any feedback and suggestions you may have, and you can email us at support@shoreacademy.com. And also please remember to rate the lesson so we can improve, or so that I can feel cool if you like the lesson, and then we can just work together to make the Shore Academy experience even better for all of you. A big well done on completing the lesson. Remember, every lesson you attend brings you closer to achieving your goals. Just don't drop out, and remember, we can achieve this. Just checking in on your roadmap to success. You have now completed week 3, which is amazing. Well done. And the next time we talk, you'll be at lesson 7. And then we're almost done with module 1. It's all gone quite quickly, but I'm excited to see what you all come up with. For those of you who are interested in upgrading now, when you go into your members area, here is what you will see. But if you want to save money, go for the 12, 6 or 3 month plan. All you have to do is click and you're done. I hope you've all enjoyed today's lesson and learned something new, and that hopefully some of you will be signing up for module 2, 3 and 4 so we can continue this journey through web design together. Goodbye everyone.